Here's another nice trick, and that's customizing the toolbar. The toolbar is this area here down to that line. Okay, so it's all these things, backwards and forwards and so forth. Okay, so we'll go to View, Customize Toolbar, and up comes a number of things that you can add to it. And I'll tell you the ones I use a lot. One is text size, so I'm going to click on that, left click on it, and drag it across to where I want it, which is there. And I'll show you how that works in a minute. I don't think that there's much else that you need to do other than that. You could put a home button there as well, so but I will put a home button just in case you like home buttons. Okay, click done. Now I'm a little bit short-sighted at times and I want to see this text in a bigger thing, so I click on the increase font size. And this isn't going to work on all sites, by the way, because it only increases text that's written. It doesn't increase, for instance, something that's a picture. So for instance, this bit here is a picture. Whoops, it had a link on it. Yeah, that's a picture and that isn't increasing at all. But you see how the text is increasing and decreasing around the picture itself. But it does increase the text, so I'll have a look here. I can see the text in a much better way now as I get it bigger and bigger. If I click this green button here, by the way, what happens is it goes out to the full amount it can go, including the fact that down the bottom I've got the my toolbar at the bottom. God, I can't remember what it's called. Isn't that ridiculous? What's that called? The dock, that's right. It goes down to the bottom of wherever the dock happens to be. So if the dock was hidden, it'd go to the bottom of the page. I can now go through that in really big text and see it easily, reading it easily. Not such a good thing to do for something like a paper, because it's a lot of set out. You see how you got a lot of text set out, but if you've just got a standard straight text document, it's quite good for opening it up. You can also do this, which I've just got I'll show you in the next one. There's another bar in Safari too, which you can use. You can turn on by saying show status bar. So that's under the view menu, show status bar. Now where that happens is right down the bottom there. It says, it tells you what's actually going on at all times with the computer, and I'll give you an example of how that works. For instance, let's say I go to the Herald and then quickly go down to the bottom. It says loading here and tells me what it's been loading. If I click on one of these links, it tells me where it's loading and how long it's loading. Unfortunately, I've got a fairly I've got a fairly fast connection, so it's a bit difficult to see it. But if you've got a slower connection, it'll tell you what percentage of the page is loading and how many more graphics and so forth. And quite often it's worth having a look at that, because it tells you whether something's hung up or the site's got problems or whatever. So I'd leave the status bar on. I reckon that's always a good idea. I can also find out where I've been. I can navigate through the site by using these arrows here, going forward, and this one going backwards. We'll go forward again. Or I can click and hold it and it'll show me a drop down menu of all the places I've been. I can go back to the age very easily with that. I can also find my entire history by clicking on the history drop down, and of course there's all the ones I've been to recently and then different dates, and you can clear the history if you've got something to hide as well. Okay, now another way of getting around once you've opened the page up and you're looking at it, particularly if you've got one like this where there's quite a long page, is to either click on the right or left click on the bar at the right and pull it up, drag it up and down. That's one way. The other way is to use these arrows. By clicking up and down you can move the page up or down. But the most convenient way of all really is just to press the space bar, and each time you press it it'll go down just less than a whole page, giving you the top of the page that was at the bottom before, so you can maintain consistency and read it without any worries. If you hold the shift key down and then press the space bar, it'll go back up again exactly the same way, so you can move up and down, no problems at all. Of course the other way of doing it is to scroll it using the ball on top of the mouse or any other scrolly kind of thing you've got, and you can also use the arrows, the up and down arrows, and even the side to side arrows if you find that easier to do. But I find that most of the time you look at it page by page, it seems to be sort of easier to look at. Okie doke.